Hey everyone, I'm here. Welcome to another story time. Today's story comes from a very special place. It was written in a magical land between the sea and the sand dunes where the wind sings stories and the waves whisper secrets. The salty breeze rustled through the grasses, making the tall reeds bow their heads. A young girl with hair the color of wheat lay nestled among them. Her name was Oradein, which means the peace of the Most High, and she had a heart as light and free as a lark that sang above her. All around her, the sky was a soft blue quilt patched with fluffy white clouds that floated gently across its face. But today, something was different, something new. Oradein lay in the grass, looking up, watching the clouds drift by when she noticed something unusual. They weren't just drifting aimlessly. They were moving in a pattern. She blinked and then gasped. The clouds were crisscrossing like threads in a loom. Now the clouds weren't actually threads, of course. They were wisps of water vapor, high above the earth. But when Oradein squinted her eyes, trying to pierce the veil of blue, it seemed as though there really were silvery threads woven across the sky, dancing and twirling in patterns only the wind knew. Just as she wondered if the clouds would form a new shape, if the wind would shift direction, suddenly the air shimmered just above the grasses. At first she thought it was heat haze, but then the shimmer solidified and tiny figures appeared. They glowed faintly like sunlight on glass, and now she could see them more clearly. They were like little girls dressed in flowing robes of wind and sunlight, darting back and forth between the clouds. Each one clutched a length of spun moonlight, or so it seemed, and pulled it taut, twisting and turning until it caught on a wisp of vapor. They were weaving, knotting, stitching. A ray of sunshine swept through the reeds, touching Oradein's face and making the threads in her own hair sparkle. Was it real or a dream? She wasn't sure. But as the sky above her shimmered, Oradein couldn't look away. One of the sylphs, as she realized they were, paused and smiled. Then she floated down toward Oradein, and the other sylphs fell silent. Oradein sat up, her eyes wide with wonder and awe. "Who are you?" she whispered. "We are the Sky Stitchers," the sylph replied gently. "And we are the hands that guide the winds, guide the winds," Oradein repeated, her fingers curling like the tendrils of a climbing rose. "How?" "With these," the sylph said, holding up the strand of spun moonlight. "Our threads carry the things that make the earth alive." Oradein tilted her head. "Threads carry things." The sylph dipped low, her voice barely a breath on the breeze. "Watch closely." Above them, two threads crossed, forming a kind of sling, and nestled in the space where they met, a small seed floated gently along with the breeze. Oradein gasped as she saw it caught in the threads and then carried far across the meadow. "There," the sylph whispered. "Now that seed will land where it can grow." Oradein's heart soared like a lark. The seed wouldn't blow away. It would be planted. It would take root and bloom. Another sylph flew by, twirling. This time a bird glided behind it, its wings outstretched, riding the wind like a kite. Ora gasped again. "You carry the birds too?" "Yes," the sylph said with a nod. "We guide them when the wind changes. We help them find their way." The other sylph swooped and soared, guiding a wandering swallow, helping a family of starlings find their way home. Oradein watched in awe as the sky became alive with movement. Each gust of wind, each turn of the breeze, each eddy and current was purposeful, meaningful. One sylph dipped low, catching a dandelion fluff on an updraft, spinning it into the air and sending it floating on its way. Another captured pollen and placed it on a waiting leaf, ensuring the continuation of the season's bounty. Yet another reached down and lifted a tiny droplet of mist from the morning meadows, carrying it aloft to cool the parched earth. Everything seemed guided by invisible hands. Everything seemed connected. So the wind isn't just blowing randomly, Oradein whispered, feeling a chill despite the warmth of the sun. It's building, the sylph smiled. Yes, the world you see is held together by many hands you cannot see. Every gust, every breeze, every current has a purpose. When we stitch well, the earth receives what it needs. Oradein thought about this for a long time. How many things in her life seemed random. Bad weather when she had an important errand to run, a dropped ice cream cone, the squeak of a swing as she was enjoying the ride, a word spoken too quickly, a laugh that hurt someone's feelings. But maybe they weren't random. Maybe there were threads connecting events, moments, people. She felt a sudden rush of gratitude, not just for the sky stitchers who made sure seeds grew, birds found their way and clouds moved where they were needed, but also for all the unseen forces that wove the tapestry of her life. Can I help? She asked finally. The sylph nodded. You already do. Whenever you think kindly, whenever you speak gently, whenever you choose to do what is right, your choices become threads in the great weaving. Ora smiled softly. I will make sure my threads are strong. The sylphs wove a final golden knot in the air, then shimmered, slowly fading back into the endless blue until all that remained was a memory of their gossamer wings. The clouds drifted apart, leaving a wide open blue above the reeds. Ora lay back down in the grass, breathing in the scent of wild flowers and damp earth. This time she didn't just look at the sky, she saw it. Sometimes it takes a moment to notice the threads that connect us, that bind us, that remind us we're part of something larger than ourselves. And sometimes those threads are right before our eyes, hidden in plain sight. As we go through our days, let's pause and look for the patterns in the clouds, the whispers in the wind, the connections that weave our lives together. Because the world, with all its wonders and its ways, is held together by many hands, and we have the opportunity to be among those hands. So now it's time for our discussion. What did you think of this story? What did you like best? Let me know in the comments below. Also, remember to like and subscribe so you don't miss any of our future videos. And as always, thanks for watching.